Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. everyone. Hello, Any Key. It has been a busy week at Firebelly. Yes, indeed. So we're continuing the commercial game in 2 weeks challenge, which is a self-imposed challenge. I'm going to try to finish this game, which is based on my Ludum Dare 51 entry, Smack Demon. I'm going to try to finish this game in a week and a day and have it up on Steam shortly thereafter. So, yeah. So we're going to continue working on that today. And I think we're going to do some fun stuff today. So I want to work on the actual combat and the strategy. Start getting some more gameplay elements in here. Start getting some more strategic elements. Basically start putting the game together, getting everything in place. So we're going to work on an enemy type today. And then I am going to probably do a lot of work on AI for that enemy. Maybe make another enemy type after that. Basically, going to be playing around, trying to get the game to be fun today. And then I can have the next week to build content. So, hello, Link SX, if that's how you say your name. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. All right, so let's get started. So, I did a some new art for the demon. He's now a little imp dude and looks kind of bad. But in-game, it's not bad. In-game, it's not terrible. And then I also did the necromancer art as well. So all of the old art from Smack Demon is now gone. And everything is new art. And so, yeah, we're going to work on this. This little dude here. So there's a couple things I need to do. One, I'm going to redo the indicator for abilities in which direction they're going. So let me go to my main here. Oh, not my main, my room. I'm going to duplicate this guy and put these on different areas because I want to get them moving as well. So we're going to write some AI for these things. So in order to implement AI, this demon here has what's called an I-turn executor, which is basically just an interface that defines a method execute turn. If I override that, then I can write any turn logic in here that I want. And that's how I'm going to write the AI for the entities. And so the nice thing about this is that as long as I specify I-turn executor and then implement this, the framework that handles the turn system will automatically pick that up. I don't have to do any extra work. So anything that I want to have AI or any enemy that I want to have AI, that's all I got to do. Good morning, Whalegum. Welcome, welcome. Links, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's an interesting spelling of links. Gotcha. All right. So, how are we going to do this? Well, this demon/imp, which I'm actually going to rename right now, because it's an imp now. So we're going to rename this imp. Rename this imp. Oops. Let's see. Rename. Use the proper capitalization this time. Imp. Rename this to that. Okay, let's see if everything works. Got some errors here. Let's see. Cannot instance class. Script could not be found. All right, well, that's interesting. Hello, Calcipod. And Dragon Apple, welcome back. Great to see you all. Wouldn't be a stream without starting out with an error, so let's see. Imp could not be found. Why is that happening? I'm just gonna remove the imps here. or just like instance new ones. Imp. There we go. Okay, is that gonna work now? Nope. All right. Res scripts game object int. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like here. Okay, well, here's what I'll do. I think I can fix it by doing this. We'll remove the script, and then we'll re-add it. Oh, it didn't take my my daemon rename. Okay, I think we're okay now. Now we can actually get started. There we go. Cool. So let's make these guys move around, huh? And we can define some behavior. You're starting early. I am starting early. Hello, Cheesem. What I'm working on is getting some enemy AI in place. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Basically making the game an actual game instead of just a bunch of framework. Okay, so in my execute turn, I need to make a decision on whether I want the imp to shoot a fireball or if I want the imp to move. And so how are we going to do that? Well, we can do it by either just randomly choosing which one, or we can make it sort of rules-based, right? And so I think for the imp, it's actually going to make more sense for it to be randomly chosen. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say, I don't know what I want to do. Var should move is equal to math util RNG rand f. Let's just give it a 50% chance. Okay, and then we'll do this. If should move, we're gonna create a new method. Private, we're gonna return a task so that we can do it in an asynchronous manner. So I can do await move. Else, private async task attack. So pretty simple. And then of course, oh my gosh, am I gonna have trouble typing today? Hold on, I gotta reset the position of the keyboard. Make sure everything's set up. All right. Yes, we're gonna blame the keyboard for my inability to type today. Okay, so just shove the attack in there. So that's the attack logic. And then for move, what we want to do is we probably want the imp to move generally in the direction of an entity, right? So we can say grid manager is equal to this dot get grid manager component. I can say grid manager dot get all entities dot where x dot get first node of type faction component dot faction is equal to faction type dot player. So we're going to get all of the player entities here. Let's just say target entities. Okay, and then we should probably actually, let's do this order by x dot global position dot distance squared to global position. So we're gonna get the list ordered by the distance. Now there's something that I'm thinking of now, which is that it's possible that the imp will be in a position where it can't move. For instance, if it's surrounded by other entities and the tiles are occupied. So we're gonna have to handle that situation. And I think the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm simply gonna do a check if movement valid, if not use attack instead. So that'll be pretty simple. Hello, Firepixel, welcome, welcome. Got the fire gang in here. Okay, so we've got our target entities ordered by distance squared 2. So we're going to say if target entities dot any so if there are no target entities, what we can do is we can just say await attack and then return. So we'll just do an attack if there's no target entities, which is going to be unlikely, but we'll handle that situation anyway. And then what else are we going to do? So now we have to get the valid positions, the empty tile positions. And then we're going to pick the one that's sort of in the direction of the closest target entity. So how are we going to do that? Well, we take our grid manager and we're going to get tiles positions and radius. And maybe we'll give the imp like a two block movement radius. So we're going to say my root tile position, grid manager.world position to tiled position, global position. We'll give it a radius of 2, and we're going to exclude the root position. And all that does is excluding the root position means that the results will not include this position. Okay. So we've got our tile positions and radius, so let's say valid positions. And we need to filter out the what's the word? We need to filter out all the tiles that are occupied. So we're going to say where the tile grid manager component get is tile. I'm going to create a new method in my grid manager component, which is going to be called is tile occupied. Is tile position valid? Yeah, we're going to do public bool is tile position occupied. We're going to take that tile position in here. And all we're going to do is we're going to return entity to tile, no, wrong one. Tile position to entity.contains key tile position, or tile position to effect dot contains key tile position. Oh, contains key. Whoops. All right. And then in here, what I can do is I can just filter this out where grid manager tile is tile position occupied, not is tile position occupied X. Cool. And so in here, we can satisfy this to do here by just saying if not valid positions dot any, and once again we're going to attack instead. Okay, and if we made it through all the way here, that means that we can move, and so it's just a matter of trying to pick the tile that is closest to the direction of the closest entity. That makes sense. Let's see. Starting to make your first little Godot game at the moment. Nice. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you need a Udemy course, let me do a quick ad read. I have a Udemy course of how to make a complete 2D platformer in the Godot engine. The link for that is in the description. It's very cheap, so 11 hours of video content. If anyone's interested, go ahead and get it. I'm trying to get better at marketing, so you're probably going to hear me ad read for my own stuff on occasion. Coding a Mega Man game and fancy attacks are hard. Yes. Yeah, it's very easy to get yourself into a situation where you are just like diving through spaghetti. And that was kind of like, maybe this was unwise of me, but I spent this past 6 days, basically building all the frameworks upon which I can build the game. which is a risk because you can end up building a framework that you ultimately don't need to use or can't use because your game changes, right? But, you know, it's one of those things you either have to invest a lot of time in building a framework that's nice and extensible and keeps the spaghetti amount down, or you could just embrace the spaghetti. You know, there's a lot of game developers that just, they will just go in and just make it work regardless of like how messy the code is or how poorly architected it is. And it's like, well, props to you if you can live in that environment, but I can't. It could be pretty funny if the imp is surrounded by other imps and then attacks one of his friends. Yeah, that's an interesting thing too. Actually, that's a really interesting thing. I'm gonna have to figure out how to handle friendly fire. I think probably friendly fire is not going to... Maybe I just won't deal damage. That is something I haven't thought about. Is Gunforged's rough release date public? Do we know any expected game to come out? Probably... I don't want to make any promises, but I would love to be able to release it sometime this summer. I don't want it to drag on forever, so I want to release it, yeah, sometime in summer, if possible, but we'll see. It's possible that won't happen. Hello, Short Stuff, welcome back. Grind and get that money, yeah. Yeah, I mean, gotta make money somehow, either by working or marketing. All right, so let's see. So we have our valid positions now. So now let me think about this. We basically need to get the tile position that is in the direction of the closest enemy. How are we going to do that? What is the appropriate way? Also, this is getting tiles in a radius of 2. So we need to pick the tile that is on the farthest edge of the radius that is also close enough to the closest enemy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very just sort of naive, like brute force. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the maybe I'll just get the valid position that is closest to the entity position, right? So I'll just do a check. Yeah, so I'm going to say var closest valid position to target entity. Okay, I need to grab the target entity first. So target entity is equal to target entities.first, and that should give me a node 2D, yep. And then closest valid position to target entity is going to be valid positions dot order by x dot distance squared to target entity, and this is in tile. This is in like the tile space, so I need to convert this grid manager dot world position to tile position target entity dot global position. Whoops. Okay, so is that going to be correct? So we order the valid positions by the distance squared to the world position to tile position of the target entity. So we're basically getting the tile that is closest to the entity position, and then we're going to say var. Do we want to say var? Yeah, var target tile is equal to closest valid position to target entity. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and do first here, and that will give me a vector 2, and then I can say await this dot get first node of type animator component oops dot move to tile, and that's going to be our closest valid position to target entity. Okay, well, if I did that correctly, which is doubtful, let's go ahead and see. Let's see if it works. So I move the necromancer. Oh, there he goes. You see a little hop? Oh, they're coming after me. And they shoot fireballs too. Ooh, they have quite a bit of movement speed. Okay. Well, this game suddenly got like a lot harder. Wow. It's amazing how much the game has changed just with that minor addition. I was actually like immediately put into defensive mode. That's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Wow, well, that appears to be working just fine. I'm sure there's an edge case in there that I didn't handle, and the game will crash at some point, but... Hey, Crazy Ed, welcome, welcome. Disturbed Waffle. Do you think you will do a new course for Godot 4, maybe after Gunforge release? I am going to be doing a new course for Godot 4 before the Gunforge release. Actually, Gunforged is going to be probably a month delayed because I'm doing this 2-week challenge, and then as soon as the release candidates come out for Godot 4, I'm going to start working on the Udemy course, which is probably going to take me about 2 weeks as well. So, and the Udemy course is going to be, I've decided it's going to be how to make a Survivors style game in Godot 4. So basically how to make a Vampire Survivors clone. I missed most of your streams. How have you been? I've been great, Crazy Ed. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How have you been? Awesome. Yeah, it is awesome, Quake. I'm very happy. That's makes the game immediately much better. The other thing that I want to show you all is I did some work on the UI as well. So let me just beat this level real quick. Gonna have to figure out how to make this UI a little bit of a better experience as well. Also, we could give the imps maybe a melee attack. Anyway, so after you beat the level, you get this screen, which is the upgrade screen. And so this still needs some work, but basically you get a choice of a couple upgrades at the end of each level, because this is like a roguelike kind of formula here. So you can either choose a minion upgrade, which in this case is for the skeleton warrior. And when you choose a minion upgrade, you get that minion gains 1 positive benefit and 1 negative trait. And so I haven't marked these very clearly yet, but if you choose this upgrade, then your skeleton gains increased health. However, it deals damage to nearby allies when it attacks. So that will always be the case. There will always be a positive trait and a negative trait. And then you'll also get an option of a new skill. So in this case, it's swap. And you can, the idea is that at the end of each level, you will get a choice of 1, 2, or 3 upgrades. And so my hope is that that's going to add a little bit of strategic depth to the game, that, and it's going to change the gameplay every time, right? So you're not going to necessarily be using the same strategies every single time. Because like if you have this deals damage to nearby allies on attack, well, all of a sudden now maybe you don't want to stack warrior skeletons because they'll just kill each other, right? So you might want to use a ranged skeleton or something. And then of course the abilities are just going to present opportunities for you to change up your play style or augment your strategy. Obviously I need to build a lot of content for this. These are the only 2 things available right now, but that's what this next week is going to be for, is just building out just a ton of content. So today, by the end of today, I want to have basically the entire game loop done with a couple enemies, and then I can build the content out. What are the characters supposed to be? Love the art, by the way. So the characters are, yeah, just, so got a necromancer and then skeleton. Just kind of like a crazy-eyed skeleton. And then these guys are imps. They're little demons. Working on my game, yeah. This is a chill game stream. This is like a game dev meetup, a virtual game dev meetup. I'm making a new game right now. It's basically a bullet hell survival tower defense game. I'm thinking of starting a develop series. You should. You should, definitely. And that mix of genres sounds really, really intriguing. So, yeah. Do it, do it. Make the positive text green and negative text red. I can do that, yeah. I was thinking about doing that. It might not be very readable, though, because I only have 16 colors to choose from. And so I'm going to have to figure out if that's possible. Just a random thought to make the player not have to click the ability. You could make it so that abilities have a special tile indicator that's like green. And if you click the green, it activates. I see what you're saying. I don't know if that's going to be the best way to go forward when there's like many abilities, right? Because what happens when a tile is valid for 3 abilities, right? How do you choose which one to pick then, right? I think the easier way to do that would be to just make it like a traditional hotbar and have hotkeys for it. So that you don't have to move your mouse to the hotbar, you can just press the hotkey and then click on the board. How much time do I have? Says Avery. How much time for game deving your Gunforge game? You mean like time to work on it? Right now, I don't have any time to work on Gunforge because of this challenge. If that's what you're asking, I'm not entirely sure what you're asking though. So yeah, this is looking good. All right, so I want to, before I go any further with enemy development, what I want to do is get back here. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna plop a skeleton right there. Boom. So before I go any further, I want to change how I'm doing those indicators because they're very ugly and very distracting. And so what I was thinking about doing, so the indicators I'm talking about is like that red square right there. I think what I want to do instead is I want to experiment with using an arrow to indicate what tile is going to become dangerous next. So if I do something like this, let's see. Let's make it like a really fat arrow. Something like that, and then we'll outline it. Somebody showed me the Shift-O outline trick, which is nice. We'll outline it, and then maybe we'll give it, maybe like make it two-tone or something. No, that's not going to work. Unless I used a darker red for the two-tone. We'll see how that works. So I'm going to save this as danger indicator. I think I'm just going to replace the danger indicator. It's going to require some work, but I just want to see what that looks like if I just replace it. Obviously, it needs to be rotated the correct way as well. So if I go to my danger indicator, I actually want to... How do I want to do this? I don't know if this is going to work. So I actually want it to be like... I don't even know what I'm saying. I want it to be like halfway in between the tiles, so it should be like half in one tile and half in the other to indicate which direction it's going, but I'm thinking that may not work. And so like that, look, see, so that's kind of what I'm going for. See how this arrow is pointing in the direction of where that ability is going? That's what I want to happen. And so let me just make it rotate the correct way, and then maybe it will be better. So I've got this telegraph component. Ring around the rosy. Let's see. Yeah, normal time before starting on the current Game Jam game. Are you okay? So are you asking how much time I typically have to work on it? It's usually just like a couple hours a night. How much time did you use to have for? Yeah, okay, yeah, couple hours a night, and then a bunch of hours on the weekends. Yeah, I keep learning different tricks about A-Sprite for sure. You typically have one major ability in Fire Emblem and a context menu. I see. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this like dead simple. Like it should just be a really casual game that you can do. So I've got my telegraph component here, and I'm indicating the tile. And that's being done in the fireball. And I should probably, yeah, I'm gonna give a direction here. So vector 2 direction. And then my danger indicator, I can do danger indicator dot rotation is equal to direction dot angle. And then, and here, indicate tile. Oh, I need to know which direction it's coming from, huh? Oh wait, do I have a direction? I do have a direction. Direction. So that's fine. And then, yep, I can do direction in here as well. Let's see if that works the way that I'm thinking it will. Yeah, look at that. So we've got some indicators. They look to be going the correct way, which is great. Now the problem is it's not super clear when they're like... Also, the imp is inside of the fireball. We'll fix that. So, yeah, I don't know about this because when you have two fireballs that are like right next to each other, it's not super clear what's happening. Unless I did something like... I just want to really quick try this. If I add a tile cursor to it and I make it red. Okay, we'll just change the modulate. This is just going to be a very quick test right here. So if we highlight the current tile that the fireball is in, shoot a fireball, stop moving. I don't think that looks any better. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to make this like super elegant looking nice. The arrows are kind of cool. They're a little bit confusing sometimes when there's like skills right next to each other. And they keep hopping into their own like fire. Yeah, see, like, yeah, if you shoot... Well, first of all, that shouldn't even be happening. Hold on a second. Well, maybe that's more complicated than I think. Yeah, so actually that can happen, that's fine. Yeah, that doesn't look terribly good. I think I need to do, like, a tile outline, like I was doing. But maybe just make the danger indicator a little bit different. Hello, Unity's particle system. Welcome, welcome. Maybe like an after image in the direction it will go. That's an interesting idea. Let me see. I'm gonna just do something a little bit more traditional here first. I'm gonna make maybe I can just make something that's like super super obvious that it's dangerous, you know? Okay, danger indicator. I need to reset that offset. Okay. Maybe reverse those arrows, but does that make more sense? And also, I think if I put these on the proper layer, it would probably work better as well. That red is a little bit hard to see, so maybe I'll do a darker red. Maybe I'll do a darker red and then maybe outline it as well. Yeah, so if I rotate this, is this gonna work? Okay, let's do this. Rotate this. Gee, dang it. Okay, well, we'll just do that. Easier. Trying to be fancy here. Okay, so the symmetry doesn't work when I'm copy pasting. That's all right. Okay, so we'll do that, and then what happens if I do an outline? Oh wait, why did it do a sheet? That's not right. Delete that. All right, let's see if that works. Instead of constantly clicking on the player to move, it's better to make it show automatically. Yeah, that's the plan. Well, you can have multiple characters, so the plan is just to have the previous character selected on the next turn. Interesting. I mean, I think that looks better. That probably looks the best of anything that I've done so far in terms of this feature. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to bring this in. Gee, dang it. All right, so I guess I have to do this manually. We'll just bring it 1 pixel in. Also clean that up. So bring that in, and I'm almost wondering if I might make this a sprite sheet actually instead of up and down animation, because the scale, or a scale animation, because the scale is like making the pixels look all weird and whatnot. So we're gonna make a new frame, and we're just going to bring all these in. 1. Cool. How did that save? Danger indicator 1, danger indicator 2. Awesome. And then this, let's turn off the autoplay. We're going to use an animated sprite instead. We'll create a new sprite frames. Default is fine. Bring that in. Cool. Let's loop 5 FPS and playing. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, that is looking much better. I just want to see what happens if they like stack on top of each other. Okay. I think that looks okay. At the very least, I think it's pretty clear which tiles are going to be dangerous. And so that's good. Also, did the entity just occupy the same place as the Skeletron? Lots of work to do. There's a game called Soul Knight, which has some similarities with Gunforge, and I think you get some good ideas, inspiration from it. Okay, I might check it out. Make the particles triangle shaped. I mean, I would have to do that for every single ability, because there's going to be more than one enemy ability. Well, the problem with using a sprite sheet specifying... Yeah, I mean, you could do either one. A sprite just saves, by default, the PNG into multiple images. So, that was just the easiest thing to do. Have you looked into the Breach? They have pretty clear visuals when it comes to telegraphing enemy attacks. I have seen that, yeah. How does the player know where the fireball is going to move this way? The danger indicators always indicate where the danger is going to be on the next turn. Spawn in a triangle shape. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by spawn in a triangle shape. So I think we can work with this. It's getting there. There's a couple of issues with the enemy AI that I want to work out. First of all, the fireballs should die on the enemies. Let me look at the fireball ability and see what's going on here. Oh, nope, not fireball ability, just fireball. Okay, yeah, so in here, basically what I'm doing with the fireball is I'm only destroying it if it collides with a player, but I want to destroy it if it collides with any entity, but only deal damage to the player, right? So, let's do this. If entity at tile position is not equal to null, we're going to say get first node of type. If it's colliding with a player, then we're going to deal damage, but we're going to die in both cases. Okay, so that should fix that. And then the die, let's see. Let me just make sure. Clear effect tile position. Okay. So that's all good. You can emit them with a triangular shape. I see what you're saying. Cool. All right, so that's working now. Fireballs will no longer occupy the same space as an entity. No. Okay, so we're looking good there. Looking better, anyway. Work on ability indicators. Okay, so what other enhancements can I make to this? There's obviously a lot, but I'm wondering if I should just... I wonder if I should just call it good for now and move on to some other stuff. Danger indicator. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. Oops. Die. Oh, I needed that die animation, didn't I? Well, I can recreate that. Unless I can undo my deletes in here. Nope. Okay. So we'll just do animation player real quick, die, and then what we're gonna do is scale this down. Pin this. There we go. Wait. No, I don't want the sprite frames to be open. There we go. All right. So we're gonna scale, create reset tracks. Okay, yeah. And then maybe over 0.2 seconds, we just scale it down. Yeah, we'll just scale it down. I think before what I was doing is I was scaling it up a little bit first before scaling it down. Okay, that works just fine. And then I think I also need to call queue_free on this. Perfect, okay. Cool. Now there's a problem here, which is that I think the telegraph component is just freeing that. Remove indicator. I don't want to call remove indicator here. I want to call die. There we go. Okay, so that should be fine. Make the fade out of that indicator a little bit smoother. There we go. Okay, and we probably want to give it an animation in now that I'm thinking about it as well. So let's create a new one. We'll set autoplay. And we'll take the scale, start it at 0. Insert 1.1, 1.1. Okay, that's basically good. So now they just won't appear. All right, looks much better. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. Ah, nice. All right. Let's see. Hello, Unmine. Welcome, welcome. The Benjameister. What did you upload to GitHub? I am having a lovely day. I hope you are as well. Is there 8 days left on the challenge? Today and then, yeah, 8 days, yeah. A week from tomorrow is when it's due. Okay, so let's do this. Let's commit this tweaks to danger indicator. All right, let's do something a little bit more complicated now. Let's do something more complicated. I want to add another enemy type. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what it looks like to add an enemy type with a different type of attack as well. So I want to see what that looks like. How creative can I get with these attacks? So let's create a new scene. Let's call this Archer, I guess. Well, do we want to call it Archer? Let's call it... I don't know, let's do something like Mage or something. I have an idea for this. Game object, mage. Yeah, that's fine. Let's, I'm just going to use a color rectangle right now in the absence of art. Actually, I guess I don't need to do that. I guess I can use the old player sprite. So let's add a animator component. Implementation of the TinyKeep algorithm in GDScript 4. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't see a message, so it must not have gone through. But that's cool, yeah. What is your GitHub username so people can go find it? Are you using a custom Godot theme, or did you just change the primary and secondary colors? I'm not sure. I think this is this not the default theme? If this is not the default theme, then yeah, I must have changed it. Okay, we're gonna add the player here. Control, and then click and drag is a way to change fields by integer increments, by the way, which is super handy for pixel art. So we've got our mage, cool. Let's merge from scene. I'm just gonna merge everything that I have from the imp. Health component, faction component, abilities component. We'll just bring all of that in there. Health component, we'll give it a health of 1 for now. Faction is enemy, abilities. All right, let's create base ability. Let's create a new ability. Scene, new scene. Comet ability. I'm gonna have this enemy call down a comet. I think that's gonna be super cool. But where does this get? Right in here, okay. Comet ability. Scripts. This extends. Base ability. Game dot ability, I think. Yeah. Implement abstract class. Get ability definition. Okay. Get valid tiles. Execute tile command. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on here. So we need to create an ability definition first, though. So let's just copy the teleport, I guess. Copy, paste, rename, comet, ability definition. We'll give it a cooldown of 4 turns. Comet ability definition. Cool, and then we'll call it comet. Give it a quick description. Okay, so now we can return new comet ability definition. I don't know if that's necessary because this is not going to be a player ability, it's going to be an enemy ability, but that's fine. So I'm going to look at the fire ability side by side, which I think I just closed. Fireball ability. What does get valid tiles look like? Get tile positions of entity. Gotcha. Okay. So basically this is just all the tiles that it can be called down on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say get valid tiles. Grid manager component dot get tiles in radius. We're going to give it a radius of like 5 here. So we're going to say grid manager component dot world position. Let's do get tile position of entity. Entity radius 5 exclude root position true. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this to true because I don't think I'm using false anywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that off now. So we've got all the tile positions in radius, but I also need to do dot where x grid manager component dot. Actually, do I need to do that? No, I don't need to. Okay, so valid tiles, and then I'm just gonna return... Yeah, I guess I don't even need to do that. I can just return valid tiles.toArray. Basically, this is just gonna be targetable on any tile whatsoever. Let's see. The Benjameister. Okay, yeah, so everyone that's interested in the Tiny Keep dungeon generation algorithm, go to the Benjameister on GitHub and find the algorithm. Super inefficient and buggy, but it works. That's all that matters. That's awesome. Would it make sense to have one range type enemy and one melee fat type enemy? Yeah, there will be melee enemies. Mostly I'm creating this ability to further extend or develop against my the ability framework that I've built, to basically trying to do a bunch of different types of... I already know that melee works in my system, so I'm trying to do a different type of ability that I'm not sure is going to work, so I can build it out further. But yeah, making a melee enemy would be fairly straightforward. It would probably take like 30 minutes. Okay, so execute tile command internal. So I have to figure out, how is this working? So we're creating the fireball. Gotcha. So I basically just need to create a new scene for that ability. I'm just gonna copy all this. Copy paste. I need the resource preloader. All right, let's create the comet scene now. So fireball, we're gonna have our telegraph component and our, yeah, okay. Let's create a new scene. Comet. Game object ability, put it in there. Add child node. What am I adding? I gotta add my telegraph component. Okay, which is gonna have to be extended. And then my, let's just do a sprite here. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. So I'm just gonna put a sprite there, that's fine. Yep, okay, that works. Let's create that script for the comet. Game.gameObject.ability. Cool. Resource preloader, instance scene or null comet ability. Get entities layer. Add comet. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Comet global position. Yep, that's fine. Direction. We don't need a direction here, so I'm going to get rid of this. Perfect. So that's going to create that ability. Now, the question is... So I need to call init to set up the telegraph component, so I can indicate which tiles are going to be hit. We'll just copy paste yet again. We don't need the... Do we need the enemy turn started? I think maybe we do. I might add another turn state, which is just the ability turn state or enemy ability turn state, but I'm not sure. Okay. Private void on enemy turn started. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make this work. Basically, what's going to happen is the ability gets cast, it highlights a bunch of tiles that are going to be affected, and then on the next turn, the comet comes out of the sky and smacks the ground and deals a bunch of damage everywhere. How are we going to make that work? We'll see. Hello. Have a good stream. Thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoy the stream as well. Are enemies going to have multiple abilities? They can, yes. We'll see. I'm just going to continue with my Godot tutorial. Cannot trick myself into learning Godot, though. Well, it's tough, but the only way out is through. Okay, indicate tile. So now I'm not using this direction anymore, am I? Yeah, I'm not using this direction, so I'm going to get rid of this now. Cool. All right, so we'll get rid of that direction, which was part of that old experiment I was doing. Oops. So we're going to indicate tiles. So now the problem is that we need to be able to indicate multiple tiles here. Public void indicate tiles, vector 2, tile positions. For each var tile position in tile positions, we're going to call indicate tile position. Okay, now obviously this is going to be a problem here if is instance valid danger indicator. So this needs to become a list of danger indicators, I think. List danger indicator. Danger indicators. Okay, so we got a list now. Now the question is, how do I remove the old indicators? Good question. How am I going to do this? So I basically need to indicate, when I indicate a list of tiles, so this could be like 4 tiles, I need to clear all of the old 4 tiles and put the new ones in. So this might have to be a separate thing. Because I can't do it in the indicate tile because I'm calling that in here. Unless, of course, I just copied this, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I could just do something really like dumb, like clear tiles equals true. If clear tiles, danger indicators for each x dot die, danger indicators dot clear. Why is this wrong? Oh, danger indicators dot add. There we go. So var new, let's just say danger indicator. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. Instance it here, store it in that variable. Danger indicators dot add danger indicator. Danger indicator. Okay, and this is going to be called remove indicators. So we're going to call this. And then this needs to be is instance valid x. So for every danger indicator in there, we're going to check if it's valid. We're going to call die, and then we're going to clear the list. Remove indicators, so I can call this up here now too. And hopefully that doesn't break anything. And I need to call clear tiles false right here. Well, let's see if that works. Maybe I'll just run this right now and just make sure everything's still working. Nope. Oh, I didn't assign the list to be new. Okay, now let's try it. There we go. Perfect. So it appears to be working. Cool. So now we can test if it's going to work with the comet, right? So when the comet comes down, we need to indicate a bunch of tiles in the radius. So global position, yeah. So target tile is equal to grid manager dot world position to tile position, global position. Okay. Var tiles in radius is equal to grid manager get tiles in radius. And my root tile position is target tile int radius. Do we want to do like, we'll just do one. Yeah, just one. Dot to array, and then we're going to say indicate tiles in radius. Grid manager update effect tile position. Oh, that's another iffy part. That's going to be a little bit tricky. All right, let's see. So, coding something without using a tutorial and just from reading the documentation is one of the most satisfying things ever. So I love Godot and GGScript. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think definitely why programming is fun. I'm waiting for Gunforged Live. Well, you're going to be waiting for a while. Probably going to be about a month before I get back to Gunforged between the stuff that I have to do. I have one more week of this project and then I've got to make a Udemy course. So that's the problem. There's only so much time in the day, which is unfortunate. Maybe make a ram or something that moves fast and rams anything in its path. That's interesting, yeah. So happy right now I figured out networking with deterministic physics. There needs to be more tutorials for this. Yeah, I mean, how do you handle it? Do you have to basically have the server run the physics simulation and then send the position updates for all the physics objects to the clients? Yeah, new course. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's just, I can't do everything all at once, unfortunately. So there's a problem here, which is that now I can indicate tiles in the radius, but this tile effect position, there's going to be a problem here, which is that man. So my grid is based on the assumption that each ability effect will take up one tile. But this comet is going to take up multiple tiles. So I'm wondering if... So I could either fix that, or what I could do is I could just spawn however many instances of the comet that I want to spawn. Right? And instead of having a big comet come down, I can just have a bunch of smaller comets hit the ground. I might end up doing that just for the sake of expediency. Well, rip, I just did all that work on the indicator tiles for nothing. That's all right. That's all right. I think what I'll have to do is just in the comet ability, I'm instancing one comet, but instead what I want to do is I want to grab these tiles in radius. here. So var grid manager. Oh wait, I already have a reference to that. Let's get rid of that. Command args dot target tile position to array. I don't need, well, we'll just keep it like that. Yeah, I don't need this. For each var tile in tiles in radius, what are we going to do? We're going to instance a comet. We're going to add the comet. We're going to say comet global position is equal to tile. And so now there's going to be 4 different comets, up to 4 different comets spawned instead. And then in the comet in here, I'm going to do more like what this is doing, which is just doing that. Okay, that is simple enough. Okay, let's pause there on the comet, and let's go back to our mage and put the comet ability in here. Just like that. Okay, and let's add a script. Game.gameObject, and let's look at our imp. I'm basically going to just grab this. There we go. And let's see. Might as well just grab all that, bring it on over, copy, paste, let's go. We'll just comment all this out for now. We're just going to do an attack here first, because that's going to be the one that we want to model most closely. Okay, we're going to grab node private comet ability, and before I forget, I'm going to mark this as unique scene name. Cool. So we got our comet ability. So comet ability, get valid tiles. And again, I think what I'm probably going to want to do is, so I want to get all the valid tiles, but I want to get all of the valid tiles, but I want to place it where well, we'll just pick a random tile for now and see how that works. So valid positions, we're picking a random one, and valid tiles is within that sort of radius. I think maybe we'll knock that down to 3 instead of 5. Okay, common ability, execute tile command. That should basically be it. Now, if I did everything correctly, I should be able to just throw this guy into the entities, and it should just work. But it's not going to, so... Yep. All right, let's see what happened. Object reference not set to instance of object in comet ability 38 resource preloader. Right, because I didn't add a resource preloader to my comet ability. So let's go ahead and do that. Resource preloader, comet. Okay. Now let's see what works. Oh, look at that. Why did it spawn? Huh. Well, in any case, you can see that these 4 areas are... Why is that doing that? Did I put... Oh, yeah, I did do that. Okay, well. So now you can see that it's casted this. In a radius. Now it's missing the middle part because... I need to put false here. And we're gonna have to make that animate in. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that in a radius of 4, so with the middle position and then all around, it's calling down it's going to be calling down comets. Now, the thing is, it's doing that every turn. And the reason is because, oh my goodness, the enemies do not respect the cooldown time of abilities. So I can either make it so that they do respect the cooldown time of abilities, or I can just fake it. And I'm thinking faking it will be easier instead of trying to make a universal system that works for every player and every entity. Yeah, I think faking it is probably a good idea. All right, let's see. Okay, so you're saying, Light is saying about the server-side physics, or let's see, deterministic physics. I'm using a P2P connection, but it's almost like a host connection because of how authoritative the server is. So players will send inputs on a timer of 0.05. Gotcha. And the server reads those inputs and moves players and sends the status of the world back every 0.05 seconds. Gotcha. That makes sense. So it's like a 20 hertz server. Meteor shower. Yeah, that's exactly what's maybe comment is not an appropriate word anymore, because yeah, it's going to be more like a meteor shower for sure. Also, player inputs are only sent if they changed before the tick, and it sends them in history for prediction. Gotcha. Did you draw your avatar image yourself? Well, first of all, welcome to the stream, Lorgret. Lorgret? I did not. No, I paid somebody to do that. Is there a schedule for your live streams? There is not, no. I think if I'm going to live stream, it's most likely going to be Saturday and Sunday morning, Eastern time. But I just kind of like whenever I feel like going live is when I do it. But the VODs are always available, so if you like just having something on in the background, you can always go to my channel and find the streams. Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. We're going to make this meteor shower / comet actually work in the next few minutes. But first, I'm going to take a quick break. And while you all are waiting, you could wishlist Gunforged on Steam. If you haven't already, that would really help me out, and I'd greatly appreciate that. So I'm going to throw that link in there. You can also sign up for my newsletter at firebelly.com or check out my Udemy course if you want to learn how to build a platformer game in the Godot engine. The description, or the link is in the description below. So again, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be back to actually make this meteor shower work. All right, enjoy the soothing tones of Lo-Fi Girl. All right, I'm back. Let's see. I'd like to try to follow the process, maybe learn something about workflow. I see, yeah. I mean, I wish I could do, like, I wish I could schedule it more reliably, but I don't think I can do that. I just kind of have to, whenever I'm feeling up to it, you know? Shameless plug, yeah. I'm going to be advertising myself a lot more in the near future. Mostly because doing so is going to allow me to either free up my time so I can create more content or hire people to help me create more content. I'm making a game and using something like Blood Brothers from Gunforged, where if you get hurt, a spirit roams and hits enemies. Awesome. Yeah, I love games that just make use of minions. I can't get enough of it. I've played, like, if a game has a summoner class or a necromancer class, I'm like all in. And so that's really cool. I like it. Yeah, this music is cozy, but you know, if it was my choice, I'd be blasting metal on the stream. But number one, copyright issues, and number two, a lot of people find that objectionable and will not stick around. So, gotta have easy listening, copyright-free stuff. Watching the stream for an hour, excellent. I've been watching the stream for an hour too, or a little over an hour. I'm kidding. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. It's a Sunday morning. I don't know what it's like where you all are at, but it's a cold, rainy winter day here. Overcast, gloomy. Got some coffee. You know, it's nice and peaceful. Motorhead, yeah. I mean, I'm more of a Metallica guy, but Motorhead is up there. Wish to make a simple bullet hell game in Godot. Ninja drop them a hold to hack and slash midair. So, simple bullet hell. Hack and slash midair. Okay, so like you'll dash around as a ninja dodging bullets. It's not that here in Florida. Yeah, what is it, like sunny, humid? Isn't Florida pretty nice this time of year though? Not too hot. Playing Terraria as a summoner is probably one of the hardest but most fun experiences. Yeah, when me and my friends in college no-lifed Terraria, it was like I had to collect every single summoner piece, and no spoilers, but like the final summoner piece is just like amazing. I really like how that game handled summons too. Like basically all of them are flying to some extent, which is nice because they kind of got around the issues. So the big problem with summoner games, and this is why I haven't made one yet, is because it's really, really hard to do the AI right. Like there was this game that came out called The Unliving, which was basically just like Necromancer Simulator, which looked really cool, but it has mixed reviews because the AI is not great. And so it ends up just being like, instead of your skeletons being an army that's well coordinated and deadly, it's more like herding cats. You're like fighting the game, trying to get your summons to do what you want them to do. And that's a problem in all kinds of games that implement summons, right? There are very few games that do it right. I think Path of Exile is one of them. It gives you just the right amount of control over your minions, where you can actually be very, very effective with a minion build. I think Diablo 2 is probably really good at that as well. Diablo 3. But yeah, a lot of games, because summoning is often like an afterthought in games too, right? So they don't invest a whole lot of time into the AI, and so you just end up like with a useless skeleton that might hit something on occasion, but otherwise it's like stuck on the terrain somewhere, right? So, anyway, long soliloquy over about summoners. It's under 90. Wow, it's that hot in Florida in the middle of winter? Jeez. Wow. Okay, well, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, like mid 60s, 80 degrees. Wow. Okay, let's get this meteor shower to work. And how am I going to do that? Well, we go to our comet ability here, or our comet rather. So when the enemy turn starts, so this is where we're going to need to do some coordination here. So let's throw together a quick sprite. Throw together a quick sprite. We'll make the comet like, yeah, like this. I have no clue if this is going to look any good at all, but actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I might make this purple. The problem with this, I don't know if I like this color palette. The problem with this color palette is that the dark purple and the black look so similar that you can't use them together because there's not enough contrast, right? That's one really important thing when you're doing pixel art is you have to keep in mind contrast. If you use two colors that are similar brightness to each other, when you zoom out and you're seeing it in like a larger scale, it will not look good. It will look like you've just doubled up the line instead of having two distinct colors. That's probably one of the hardest things about pixel art is making sure that, especially with a limited palette, making sure that your colors that are adjacent to each other are have enough contrast. What the heck is going on? Okay, well this like circle looks a little bit weird, but that's okay. Okay, so check this out. We're gonna take that comet, drag it on over. Cool, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna animate this. So let's go ahead and grab that sprite. Private sprite, sprite.visible equals false. So we're gonna hide it when we become ready. And then on enemy turn started, what we're going to do is we're going to say sprite.visible is equal to true. Actually, let's do the modulate. Modulate colors.transparent. So when the turn starts, what we're going to do is we're going to say tween equals create tween. Actually, I keep going back and forth. We're going to do a scale. Scale. Multiple ways to make something not appear on screen. We'll set the scale to 0. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say tween.tween property sprite scale vector2.1. We'll do it over 0.1 seconds. We're also going to set the global position. Sprite.global position is equal to vector2.up.rotated. We're going to do negative Matthew till dot. Well, let's do this. Negative math. Can I do rotated degrees? Nope. Math f.deg to rad. Rad to deg. No. Deg to rad, yeah. So we're going to rotate it 15 degrees clockwise, and then we're going to multiply this by what? I don't know, like 64. So basically we're going to set the sprite to be, we're going to change this to position, sorry. Keep going back and forth. So we're going to set this to be 64 up at a slight angle to the right. So that's going to be our starting point where it's going to fall down. Then we can say okay, create tween, and then our position tween, we're just gonna tween this sprite position back to 0, and we'll do it over 0.3 seconds. And then watch this. Position tween dot tween callback. Name of on impact. Private void on impact. Game camera dot shake. So we're going to add a little bit of screen shake. And what else? We need to clean it up. So when the fireball dies, update effect. We need to clear the effect tiled position. Let's just call this. I might need to abstract some of this stuff out into shared components, but we'll just create a die function here. Camera shake die. Okay. And then when the turn starts, we're going to telegraph component dot clear or remove indicators. Yeah. All right, let's see how that works. So we're gonna run this. Let's see. I like Terraria's system so much more after the recent update where you could still do damage yourself with whips and also make them summon. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Hello, fitness guru. Currently have a suspicion that I have malware on my device, which makes one background file use all of the CPU. I was looking forward to coding, but I guess I got this now. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, good luck to you. I hope you are able to resolve that issue. Meter is symmetric. Oh, I see. Yeah, for your game. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Ah, look at that. So you see the comments coming down? So that's looking really cool. I think what I'm going to do is increase the distance that they're at. And then I also want to stagger them a little bit, so let's make a little bit of a delay of a random time. mathutil.rng.randf range. We'll say anywhere from 0 to 0.2 seconds. So we get like a little bit of a staggered motion here. Haha, look at that. Boom. Now, this can obviously be enhanced with particles and whatnot. I wonder why this scale is taking so long. Let's do set transition type dot sign dot set ease type dot out. Let's do that. Okay, yeah, so we can enhance this with some particle effects. So there's another problem too, which is that so the enemies move at the same time as the abilities, and so I think what needs to happen is I need to somehow make all of the abilities run first before the enemies go, I think. We're also going to turn down the camera shake a little bit. How do you make the custom mouse cursor? Is it just a sprite? Because I noticed setting the position of the sprite to the mouse position set to the frame before. Yeah, that's a problem. But I do just use a sprite. Yeah, I mean that's just part of having like a a game rendered cursor is that it's going to be a slightly delayed, which isn't that big of a deal when you're dealing with like this kind of game. But if you need like super precise mouse movements, then you'll probably either need to use the hardware mouse or use the Godot like built-in like change the mouse image. But the problem with using the Godot like built-in cursor change functionality is that you can't animate it, right? So I don't know if there's an easy way around that. You can either render the cursor in game and have a frame of lag essentially, or not have any animation capabilities, but, you know, have like a static sprite. And, you know, that's, I mean, games like, again, Path of Exile do that, right? They just change the image of the hardware cursor. Do I use a sprite or a text? I use a sprite. Yeah, I can actually show you. So I create a, let's see. I create this cursor scene, which has a canvas layer so that the cursor always stays on top. And then I have a root node called visuals. And then I have all of my different sprites underneath. And the reason that I'm using this visuals node is then I can apply animations to all mouse types just by animating this node here. And yeah, sprites just present fewer problems, I think, generally, than text direct. Controls are a little bit weird. I try not to use controls if I don't have to. But you can certainly, I mean, if you can make it work with a text direct, then there's no problem there. What is my favorite game genre? I don't know. I used to be really big into League of Legends. I put thousands of hours into that game. I've put probably hundreds of hours into Overwatch. So FPS, MOBA, but lately I just kind of like, you know, single player, roguelike games, open world games like Skyrim and whatnot. Of course, everyone loves Skyrim. I kind of play a little bit of everything. I can more easily tell you what genres I don't like. Let's see. Hey, Firebelly, love your content. Like to ask why use C# instead of GDScript. I just like C# better. I'm learning a lot from your Udemy course. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I just like C# better. That's it. It's I feel like it helps me write better code, more structured code, and better self-documenting code with all the types. I know you can use types in GDScript, but I also, you can see that I use abstract classes all over the place, which is like invaluable for me. Being able to architect the code in that way, using interfaces and, you know, virtual methods and all that. So it's purely like I only use it for my developer experience, really. It's not for any other reason. Hello, Lazar. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. So we've got our comments coming down. Now, the challenge is we got to figure out... Oh, boy. We're going to have to... Okay, let's figure out how to make the abilities run and do their thing before the enemy turns, because everything happening all at once is just too much to keep track of. So, let's say begin comet ability. Okay. So, how are we going to do this? I don't even know where the abilities are. I don't even know where the abilities are executed. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. So the way that I'm doing it now is that I'm just connecting to the enemy turns started and running the abilities in there. And now that I'm thinking about it, when the player has more abilities... So like, you can imagine having like an archer skeleton that shoots an arrow. I think we'd want the same thing to happen, right? So in the same way that the enemy abilities all run before the enemies do their turn, I think it would make sense for the player... Yeah, for the player abilities to run before the player turn. So I'm going to need to like build a system that can run all the abilities. Oh boy. Okay. So there's a turn manager component, which is emitting that signal. Then I have an enemy manager component, which is calling all of the execute turns of the enemies. Which I'm going to experiment with running these sequentially instead of all at the same time, so only one enemy moves at a time. Maybe I'll do that later, but... Oh yeah, I use TypeScript as well. Yeah, if you like TypeScript, then yeah, the transition to C#, I think you're gonna like it. Yeah, and it's once you understand Godot, it's like using C# is pretty easy because it's basically just like a one-to-one translation. There are slight differences, but it's not like a whole different world, you know. So in here, enemy manager component, what I could do actually is I could, let's see. So I have this I turn executor. I wonder if I could just give the abilities the I turn executor as well. I need some way to tag the abilities as being from the enemy though. So I need to know which abilities came from the player, and I need to know which abilities came from the enemies. And I need to be able to decipher that so that I can run the abilities correctly before the enemy turns. Interesting. I'm going to do something really lazy. Watch this. Enemy ability. Well, that's actually not going to work. Never mind. I can't be lazy in this instance. The other thing to do is to make... Oh, you know what I could do, actually? Nope, that's not going to work either. I thought maybe I could add the faction component. The problem is, so theoretically, right, if I have an ability, like a comet, theoretically that could exist on the player or the enemy, but I don't even know... That's probably not going to happen in reality, so I think I should probably just ignore that. And maybe I can just throw a faction component on this and say that this is always going to be an enemy. That might come back to bite me later, but... We are not forward thinking on this stream. We are going to do what's expedient in the moment. But in that case, oh man, I keep going back and forth on this. Whatever, man. We're going to add I turn executor to this fireball as well. And then we're going to also add that to the comet ability. Wrong one. Comet. I turn executor. Okay. So essentially what's going to happen is I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to implement this interface. Execute turn. Yeah, check this out. So execute turn, do that. This essentially is going to be the same exact thing, except now I'm going to have to call it from elsewhere. So I'm going to get rid of that connection there. And if all went well, I actually don't need to change the fireball yet, so I'm just going to... Well, I guess while we're here, we might as well change the fireball. Maybe this will end up being easier than I thought it was going to be. Wouldn't that be something? Okay, what am I doing? I need to grab this whole block here, slap that into here. Perfect. Gotta make this async. Get rid of that. Okay, all right, so let's go to our grid manager component. And what I'm gonna do is I have this get all entities. Let's do this. Get all abilities. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to say effect to tile position dot keys to list. Okay, so now in this enemy manager component, before we call all of the enemy turns, we're going to say var all enemy abilities is equal to this has to change as well, because now the faction component exists on the abilities. Yeah, so this is going to have to change to get, so grid manager component, var grid manager component is equal to this dot get grid manager component. So all enemies is get all enemies from here, get all entities, dot select, x dot get first node of type, faction component, dot where x is not equal to null, and okay, yeah, so I basically just changed that. So getting all entities, selecting the first faction component that exists in that entity, where the type is enemy, and then I'm going to select the owner. Oh, that's kind of dumb. Get first node of type. I can remove this. Get first node of type, faction component, dot faction. Then I can get rid of this select. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay, and then all enemy abilities is going to be similar, except I'm going to do grid manager component dot get all abilities, where. So you can see how this is going now. Where x dot get first node of type, faction component. Maybe I should find a way to streamline that, but you know what we say on this stream, YOLO of type I turn executor. Jeepers. Okay. Var enemy ability. In all enemy abilities, check this out. Watch how easy this is going to be. Await enemy ability dot execute turn. Cool. All right, so yeah, we're basically just querying the board for all of the enemy abilities and then calling execute turn on them. And then we'll do the same with the enemies. Is that going to work? Bets in the chat. Is it going to work? Place down your bets. All right, here we go. Cool, it crashed, okay. Whoever bet it wasn't gonna work was correct. Cannot access a disposed object. Game object dot ability dot fireball. Game object ability fireball. Let's see. Seema, follow up on game genre question. Do you like flight simulators? I do not. I know a lot of people that love those, but I just can't. Those games are not engaging for me. How's my day going? Going pretty well. How's yours going? Getting a lot done in this stream despite the fact that we keep running into issues, but that's how it goes. Turtle Pants, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy that you had confidence in me, Seema, but maybe next time don't. I'm just kidding. We'll fix it. We're gonna figure it out. Grid manager component, get all entities. Oh, you know what? I think I need to await my tweens being done here. Await to signal position tween finished. Let's put that in there. I don't think that's going to help, but we'll see. Oh, interesting. So the last one that goes... Game object ability fireball. Why is that? Cannot access a disposed object. Why is that happening? So there's obviously a little bit of trickiness here too with the comet. Because since those are like 4 different abilities, you have to wait for all of them to come down. Oh, this is getting complicated. I honestly don't know why that's happening. What happens if I get rid of the await? This is one of the dangers of asynchronous programming, is like, you got to make sure that you're really keeping track of your state. I can no longer move. Okay. We're gonna have to figure something out here. Get all entities. This is why I say turn-based games are like the hardest games to do, because when you're making like a real-time game, you're looking at the state of the game basically every frame, right? And so what direction do you move the player in? Well, the direction is whatever your player happens to be inputting on the keyboard at that time, right? How do you handle collisions? Well, it's like, did a collision happen that frame? It's like you're checking it. You're checking the state of the game and validating the state of the game every single frame, which actually ends up being easier than having a bunch of asynchronous state like you have in a turn-based game, where like, well, you've got to wait for the animation to finish, and then when the animation is finished, something needs to happen, and then after that happens, then there needs to be like a game manager that changes the turn, and then you got to move the enemies. It's just like, it doesn't sound like it would be more difficult, but I honestly think turn-based games are more difficult than real-time games to make. At least in my experience. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But... Do you like games that are about coding? I don't, no. Wow, the game has improved a lot. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, there's progress. I mean, it's like, I know the game looks rough in some places, and it's got a lot wrong with it, but it only takes just a little bit of polishing effort, a little bit of art updates, and then you can start to see the potential, right? So let's figure out what's going on here. Cannot access a disposed object. What is it trying to access? Let's make that error trigger again. So this is interesting too. Wait, something's wrong. My whole turn logic just broke. What is it trying to access? Cannot access a disposed object. What are you trying to access? Get all entities. Entity to tile position. Oh, is it because... Let me think. Let me remove these imps. It's got to be something related to querying the board for something. Nope, maybe not. Cannot access a disposed object. Ability comet. Oh, it's trying to access the comet. Why? Why is it trying to access the comet? Get first node of type. Enemy manager component. Get all entities. Get all abilities. Entity to tile position. Update effect to tile position. Am I doing this in my comet? Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Do I know what? Wow, I don't know what's going on. Here's what I can do. Let's see, return that gd.print x. Let's do this. Is instance valid x? So if this ever prints false in here, that means that an entity we're getting from the grid manager component is not, what you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Is not valid. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Output, false, okay. Oh, I see. This faction component here can only be used for entities because right here, it's calling update entity tile position. So this component, well, this is poor design, right? My faction component has a side effect, and the side effect is that it updates the entity tile position as well, right? Me not knowing or not remembering that I did that, I just assumed the faction component was essentially just a component that I can use to label the faction, but there was an unknown side effect and that causes problems. So this is a clear violation of the single responsibility principle, and that caused me an issue. So now the question is, are we going to fix it in a proper manner, or are we going to leave it be wrong? Let's see. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, I think it's going to be a little bit more effort than it's worth to like figure out where to put this properly. So I'm actually going to remove the faction component from abilities, and I'm just going to use an interface to identify them. Is that going to be possible? Yeah, should be possible. Although, the other thing I could do to make it more apparent that it's that it can update entities is I could do this. I could say export private bool is ability. We can make it even worse code, right? If it's not an ability, we'll treat it as an entity, else. Don't tell anyone I did this. Update effect tile position. Yes. Okay. That should fix it. Just gotta bump those up. Oh, you know what? No, that's fine. All right, let's see if it works. Let's see. Coding games are for people that think coding is cool but don't actually like it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's also for people that want to be introduced to programming but don't know how to do it. I'm trying to think. There was a game like Minecraft Redstone is a really good example of like, maybe it's not specifically a coding game, but there are kids that get super into Redstone and like they're learning logic by doing that, right? But yeah, I'm sure there are people that don't like coding but enjoy coding games because it's like a puzzle, right? It's the same concept. You know, you play a puzzle game, you play a strategy game, or you play a coding game. It's kind of like, in my opinion, it's using all the same, thinking strategies. Whenever you make Gunforged... Oh, wait. Is it all enemies is 0? I'm not sure what you mean, Dragon Apple. Let me know. Oh, I think get all entities is maybe returning 0. No, that was not the case, but that's a good idea. That was a good intuition. Whenever you make Gunforged, do you feel like you're making it so it would be more entertaining for people to watch, rather than making it better and more fun for the player? I'm mostly just focused on making it fun for the player, but I am realizing that it's not super flashy for videos and whatnot, and for a trailer, so I'm trying to think of ways to make it a little bit more flashy. And I think just adding like environmental effects can get me there quite a bit. Maybe make the impact effects more apparent. Something like that. All right, Seema, thanks for hanging around. Appreciate it. Good to have you on the stream. All right, so let's see if this works now. Perfect. Okay, so that's kind of annoying that they all fall at the same time. But let's go put my imps back where they were. Imp. So now we're going to see how this feels, and I'd love to get everyone's opinion on what it feels to have what it feels like to have the enemy abilities moving independently. Of the enemies. I think it looks pretty good. I might experiment with, first of all, let's make that comet faster. Maybe we'll do 0.25 seconds instead. Just like that. And then I want to experiment with making the enemies. So let's go ahead and remove that. Whoops. I want to experiment with making the enemies do one at a time turns as well, but quickly. Var enemy in all enemies. So we're going to await enemy.execute turn. I don't know. Let's see. I prefer the meteor falls all at once. Yeah, the problem is that that's going to be kind of complicated to make happen with the way that they're being handled now. I don't know why they're so delayed, though. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make those all fall at once if I can. Well, it's not super important to handle right now. Yeah, And then we got some problems with abilities overlapping too, which I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. A lot of work to be done still, but... Also, the comets don't do any damage yet, so... Maybe we should figure that out. Oh, there's a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. All right, 1 second here. Let me think. So I think, yeah, let's make the comet do some damage real quick. Let's see. Did I already read this, Fitness Guru? I read I was a Redstone nerd a couple years ago. I guess I always had that need to suffer with computer logic since I do coding now. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a gateway game to programming. What am I doing? Oh, I need to look at the fireball and see if it's doing damage. So health component, right, okay. So I basically need to copy this. So when the comet comes down, position tween dot tween callback this. Well, actually, we can just put it in here on impact. So it looks like I'm going to be using this chunk of code quite frequently. So grid manager. Like this is going to be a chunk of code that I'm going to use all the time. So let's see, how can I simplify this? Could put it in the grid manager, I guess, but I don't really know if I want to do that. Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Let's see. Grid manager. Yeah, why not? Let's just do public void damage entity at tile position. Int damage faction type. We want to specify a faction type as well. Okay, so I'll just replace some things in here. Oh, maybe this isn't going to be a good idea because I got something in here. Well, let's see. Let's just return true if it succeeds and false. True if there's an entity, false if there's not. And then in here, in my fireball, let's try this. So grid manager. Damage entity at tile position 1 faction type dot player. If success, die. Cool. And then I'll copy this line over here and bring it over into the comet. So I guess that's a little bit... What am I doing? Oh, I guess I don't really need to keep track of this. I'm going to die regardless of what happens, so there we go. So grid manager, world position, tile position. I think that's fine. Let's see if that will start damaging me now. Build error. Oh, I have an extra curly brace. All right. Let's see what happens with the comet. It should start killing things. Okay, so here comes a comet. So that took 1 damage. It's not very apparent. I gotta work on that still, but... Okay. There we go. It killed my skeleton. All right. So that's looking okay. It should damage me as well, so I'm going to try to walk myself into danger. It's just random where the comet goes, so... There we go. Died. Cool. Alright, execute... Let's commit this. Execute enemy... Or let's see, ability turns before enemy turn. All right, we're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. All right, let me, I'm just gonna order some food right quick, and then we're going to, let's figure out what we're gonna do. Maybe we can do some setup of like the random rooms, or maybe we can, I can clean up the tile set a little bit so that we can have inner corners and make more interesting room shapes, perhaps. I don't know. There's a lot of work to do still. There's a lot of work to do still. Sorry, 1 second here. Cool. All right, so we do need to do death animations as well to make everything more satisfying. Yeah, I'm not really sure actually what I want to work on now. Let's see. Obviously a lot of polishing work to do, a lot of UX stuff that needs to happen, make more sensible inputs and all that good stuff. I think what I want to do is maybe we'll see if we can draw up one of those comet mages. Maybe we'll do that. Give the comet mage some art. Let's try it. See what I can throw together. All right. So what should this comet mage be? Maybe some kind of like see, some kind of like blue enemy or something. Maybe like a hunchy guy. A hunchy thing. Or maybe we can make it like steal the Elden Ring and make it like a little cosmic bug or something. I think making it like a little hunchy something, you know? The hunchback of of this game. So I'm just gonna block it out and see if I can find a shape that I like. I wonder if I can draw like a book. See if we can do a book. Give him like a wizard hat, perhaps. Also, I don't even know if this guy is going to be too big. Let's see. So we'll save this mage. Oops. Just curious to see what this is going to look like in the game. Oh, you can't see him. That's funny. Seems to be a good size though, so I'll just keep going with what I have. Maybe make him more stubby. Maybe make it like a huge hat. Yeah, that might work. Let's up the canvas size a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I hate this guy already. All right. Little hunchy dude. Maybe, let's see. Let me move this. Let me move it. Why can't I move it? There we go. Move the book out of the way here. Ha! All right, we're getting there. We're getting there with something. Just a hunchy guy with a huge leg coming out. All right. Now the problem with the beard is that this is going to impact the book being visible. Maybe we could shorten the beard up a little bit. All right. Oops. And then we'll just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue if that looks like a hand at all. Well, it's getting there. When I receive your stream notification, I just ask myself where this guy finds so much energy to keep making games for so long. The number one advice I have is to eat well. Eat well and get 8 hours of sleep, and you will feel unstoppable. Also, there's an aspect of it too, like if you just work on projects for a long time, for a couple of weeks, it actually becomes more enjoyable to work than to do anything else. At least in my case. Because, I mean, maybe enjoyable is not the word. It's more like guilt. Like you're doing something leisurely and then you're like, man, I should actually be working right now. And you actually find that you have less enjoyment of leisurely activities when you have the energy to work. That's been my experience anyway. I'm really feeling the limitations of this color palette, let me tell you what. Okay, we'll make it like we'll make complementary colors here. Hey, Glitch6, welcome, welcome. What's the program you use for pixel art? It looks quite easy to work with. It's A-Sprite. Yeah, it's awesome. Dragon Apple, you're stuck in tutorial hell. Why is that? Why are you stuck? Oh, just because you don't really enjoy doing the tutorials? Okay, so the shape is coming together, I think. Why is there a mage working with demons? The world may never know. This game is not really supposed to be sensical, you know? Oh, I should have used the outline function. Well, whatever. I kind of like outlining by hand. It's a little bit, it's kind of fun. Now the question is that even going to look good in game? He's kind of big, but that's probably fine. Let's see. See what he looks like. Bop. Ah, man. There's a lot to do here. Let's see. I'm following GD Quest scoreboard tutorial. Oh, I see. And I should start my project and pick up skills on demand. I think I've said this before. I like trial by fire. And what I mean by that is go in with whatever knowledge you have and decide what you want to make. So if you want to make, I don't know, a turn-based board game like I'm making, just go in and start trying to make it and then look at tutorials for very specific things that you don't know how to do. right? So let's say that you know how to set up the turn management system, right? But you don't know how to handle mouse input so that you can click on the board. Well, then you can just go and look at how to do mouse input, learn that very specific piece of information, and then integrate it into your project. So trial by fire is basically just going in knowing that you're not going to know how to do everything and just working on your project until you get stuck. Now, of course, that only works if you have an idea of where to start. If you literally don't know how to start, then yeah, doing a tutorial is probably something you should do so that you can get familiar with the tools that are available to you. But you should be going into projects knowing that you don't know how you're going to do certain things. I mean, I still do that. I've been programming for quite a while now, and in professional work and also in my game projects, I just go into a project knowing that, well, I don't know exactly how I'm going to end up implementing this, but I'll just cross that bridge when I get there. That's how I tend to look at it. So don't know if that's helpful or not, but you might enjoy trial by fire. Okay, just doing some little touch-up work here. All right. I also wanted to touch up the danger indicator a little bit as well. I think these are a little bit too thick, you know? I think they're a little bit too thick. I don't know why the movement isn't carried over when you do the symmetry options, but we won't worry about that for now. Honestly, I could probably cut that part off too. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay. And I can just move this just like that. All right, I'm curious to see how all that looks now. Let's see. Anyone know any tutorials for sprite shading? I honestly have a hard time with it. On that mage's hat. Oh, good call. Thank you. You can look at Pixel Pete on YouTube. He doesn't do, I'm not aware of a shading tutorial specifically, but you can like look at any of his tutorials where he like makes an object from scratch and he will explain how to do shading. I think look at the furniture tutorial from him because it's really simple. He shows you how to think about shading when you're dealing with like right-angled objects. That would be a good place to start. Pixel Pete is the guy's name. Now I'm feeling stuck how to even open a project in Godot 2. Yeah. Making my first thing ever in Godot. It's becoming spaghetti fast, but I figured I just gotta suck up some amount of spaghetti before I work out some nice patterns. Yeah, that's generally, I think that's generally true, yeah. You kind of have to accept that you're not going to do things perfectly, that you are going to fail in a sense. But I mean, that's what that is like what learning is, right? Learning is failing, discovering why you failed, and integrating that into future action, right? Okay, well, whatever, we'll just keep it like that. All right, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, that comet ability. I need to add a cooldown for it too. We're getting there. We're getting there very slowly. All right. Looking good. So, I don't know. I still don't think I like this color palette, but I'm not switching it now. I'm just gonna have to do the best I can with it. All right, let's see. So there's one thing too. I should probably finish up the mage. Like the mage should be able to walk probably. So let's make the mage able to walk. Whoops. Okay, so should move, let's see. Private, const, cooldown. No, not const. What am I doing? Private int cooldown. So should move equals cooldown is greater than 0. And then when I execute my turn, I'm going to say cooldown is equal to mathf.max cooldown -1, 0. Okay. Should move cooldown is greater than 0. Then we're going to move. And this is going to be very much the same kind of deal. Except I think he's just going to move in a random direction. So let's just make him move in a random direction. So valid positions where... Yeah, okay. If not valid positions any, then we're just going to take no action. It's actually going to end up being pretty easy. Valid positions dot first. Cool. So that's his move. And then on attack, what we want to do is we want to say cooldown is equal to 3 or something like that, or maybe 4. So now the mage should move. Oh, wait. I don't want to do the first. I want to do a random. So var index is equal to mathutil.rng.randf, or randi range, rather. We're going to pick a random position in the radius. Randi range from 2. So from 0 to valid positions dot count -1. And then we're going to say valid positions element at index. Okay, so now once the mage uses his meteor, he should start moving. Haha, there he goes. So it moves kind of nonsensically. I can probably make the AI a little bit smarter in the future. Looks like he's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. Because once you have more skeletons, there will be a way to catch him. Could also try to predict where he's going to go. Yeah, a lot of work still to do, but getting there very slowly. Cool. The Whiz Boy looks sweet. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Yeah, learning is basically trial and error. Yeah. Are there things you would change, add, remove in your Udemy course if you had the opportunity? Yeah, so the big thing that I didn't do is I didn't adhere to the recommended GDScript style guidelines. I don't know why I didn't do that, honestly. I probably should have, but it's not that big of a deal. But following the official recommendations on how you should write GDScript would probably have been a better thing to teach people. But yeah, I think that's a big one. And then the other one is that I think I edited I edited some of the lessons to be a little bit quick, because I do have to, like, it's not just me sitting down at my computer and then recording the footage and then uploading it. I actually have to, like, bring it into editing software, cut out any mistakes that I made. You know, I cut out, if I end up, like, when I'm making the course, I don't like plan it out from start to finish. I didn't say, okay, I'm going to do this in this lesson and this in this lesson. I basically just sit down and start recording the process of making a game from start to finish. And I have a general idea of what the game should be, but I don't have, like, every single granular detail planned. And so what ends up happening a lot of times is I will take an approach to making the game that ultimately I don't really like. And so I'll end up just cutting that part out of the lesson and taking a different route. But I think when I edit the video, sometimes I edit things too close or too quick, and then it's a little bit jarring. So that's something I'm going to keep in mind when I do the next one. Hope that answers your question. Is this game going to be in Steam? Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is to put it on Steam, but, you know, I'm not gonna put it on Steam if it ends up not being any fun. But I've got a week to try to make it fun, and to try to make it, like, really fun to sit down and play a bunch of rounds. I'm only going to put it on Steam and itch if I feel confident enough in it to sell it for a couple dollars. But regardless of what happens, I will be releasing the game for you to play in some fashion. So if I decide it's not good enough to sell, then it will be up for download somewhere that you can play it. And there will be a video that comes out regardless of what happens. It should be a pretty fun video. Is Game Jolt good to post games on? I don't know. I've never posted a game there. I don't know. Cool. Add cooldown and movement to mage. All right then. So we got a lot done today. I think I'm going to cut the stream there, though. I've got my food is coming here shortly, so I'm going to go eat some lunch and take a little bit of a break. Maybe I'll play some Elden Ring for like an hour or something, who knows, before I continue work on this. But thank you all for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. If you want to help me out, you can wishlist Gunforged on Steam at the pinned link in the chat. So check that out. If you want to learn how to build a 2D platformer in the Godot engine from start to finish, you could check out my Udemy course. The link for that is in the description as well. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you all being here and helping me out with this challenge. And I'll see you in the next stream or video, whichever one comes first. All right, have a good day, everyone.